What of Sobekneferu's tomb? She never had time to build a pyramid. One structure at North Mazguna is suggested to be her unfinished pyramid. However, there is absolutely no evidence of this. There is, however, a place that is most possibly the site of her burial.
We're on our way to go see the Black Pyramid.
The Black Pyramid was built by Amenemhat III. It was one of two that he had made. Both served as a burial site for many of his family members. However, there are two extra burial chambers inside the Black Pyramid. We do not know who was buried in them, but it is highly possible that Amenemhat IV and Sobekneferu were buried in these chambers. If there was no time to build their own pyramid, it was seen as perfectly normal to be buried alongside a predecessor's pyramid in the 12th dynasty. Even a pharaoh from the 13th dynasty named Hora-Wibra was interred in this pyramid.
The Black Pyramid behind me was the final resting place for three separate pharaohs. Yet another pharaoh was placed into Amenemhat and Sobekneferu's pyramid, and his name was Hora-Wibra. Hora-Wibra was a pharaoh in the 13th dynasty, shortly after the end of Sobekneferu's rule in the 12th dynasty. He had a simple shaft tomb in the side of the Black Pyramid. And inside here, we find some of the most beautiful examples of Middle Kingdom burials inside a pyramid. We have his beautiful Ka statue surrounded by bowls, and then we have the sarcophagus with the body of the pharaoh and, of course, his death mask, which was made out of copper and blue glass. This is the mummy of Pharaoh Hora-Wibra, buried with the crook and the flail around him, his arms down, with beautiful jewelry. Now, when they removed the death mask from his head, his skull came with. So when we see the death mask on display in the Cairo Museum, the pharaoh's skull is still inside the death mask, and he is one of few examples that we have to prove that pharaohs were indeed buried inside a pyramid.
At the Cairo Museum, the treasures of Hora-Wibra can be marveled upon. This beautiful statue of the pharaoh is known as the Ka statue. The Ka was the ancient Egyptian form of the spirit, symbolized by the two open arms, which are placed on his head. Made of wood, he has areas once gilded in gold, like his necklace and fingernails. He would have had a linen skirt attached to cover the detailed midriff area. He wears the Osiris beard to show that he has joined the god of the afterlife. His eyes are by far the most captivating. They are inlaid with precious stones, giving them a realistic appearance of having blue eyes. The pharaoh is stepping out of a shrine. This shrine was to symbolize his spirit coming and going from his tomb at the edge of the Black Pyramid. Other treasures were found inside his tomb, like a miniature form of his Ka statue and many other pieces of exquisite jewelry. Many of his walking sticks and staves, and interestingly, 5 canopic jars rather than the traditional 4, as well as several jars containing these sacred oils. His mummy was badly deteriorated, yet his death mask is simply spectacular. Made from wood, it was once gilded in gold. He has a short beard made from blue faience tiles. On his brow is the hole where his regal cobra was once inserted, and his eyes have been lovingly inlaid with stones to be as realistic as possible. Just think that Hora-Wibra's skull is still inside this mask. All of this discovered in the place where Amunimhat and Sobekneferu were also laid to rest, the Black Pyramid. Inside the museum, we can also find the capstone of this pyramid. It has the intricate name of Amunimhat III carved around it. This was once placed at the very top of the pyramid. It was pushed off and damaged during the reign of Akhenaten, which was actually a gift for us to then enjoy it close up. But this stone is not of this earth. It was created out of a meteor, adding to the heavenly meaning behind being buried in a pyramid. This imposing structure was to be the last giant pyramid built in Egypt. The start of the intermediate period after Sobekneferu's death also marked the end of pyramid building, as by then pyramids were being looted by the suffering population. In its day, the Black Pyramid would have looked much different than it does today. It was made from this mud brick because vast building projects were becoming time-consuming and greatly straining the waning Egyptian economy. This pyramid is built out of mud brick. Many of the mud bricks have crumbled away. You can see here, this is the construction method: mud and straw to construct a pyramid. The last pyramid built before they started using tombs. I'm going to take you up this magnificent structure from the 12th dynasty. Tourists don't come here, so I feel extremely privileged to finally see this pyramid. Let's go. At the top of this pyramid, I found a few clues which could help us understand the erosion. Yes, 3,800 years of wind and sand has chipped away at it. You can feel the intense wind swirling around it, yet there is a more human side to its decay. I noticed that there are several pieces of broken, ancient pottery. These were usually left at sacred sites by people coming to honor the dead. It appears to me that pilgrims coming to this pyramid, instead of leaving the pots at the base, easily climbed up the step-like mud brick and left their offerings at the summit. Thousands of years of visitors wanting to offer to the gods and their pharaonic ancestors climbing up the crumbling pyramid seems to be a very touching thought. This place contained not only the spirits of Amunimhat III and his family, the spirit of Sobekneferu, but also the spirit of the people of Egypt. Throughout the years, I have investigated many Egyptian queens and their illustrious lives. Now, join me, Curtis Ryan Woodside, in this documentary, years in the making, to finally learn more about Sobekneferu.
She is the first woman who rules as king.
Staunchly retaining her femininity.
She changed the religious belief. She became a pharaoh.